forgot about it. So, long story short, obviously that massive short was there the whole time. We didn't notice it while we were tuning it because we had it hooked up to a battery charger thing the whole time I was getting tuned. Obviously I've driven it out the door and probably a big voltage drop there. So what was safe when it got tuned obviously wasn't ideal out on the street. So yeah, I ended up detonating. So obviously not enough voltage. Well, this is my conclusion to it all. Not enough voltage. Fuel pump being maxed out. Probably wasn't quite supplying the amount of fuel that 700 horsepower required. And I had deadhead set up at the time, and it was the last 2 cylinders on that deadhead setup. Pretty catastrophic failure. It had destroyed the ring lands out of 2 pistons. It was still running, just had a lot of blow-by. Still ran fine, but obviously had a lot of blow-by. And I had a slight noise, and I knew something was up. So I ended up sorting that out, found out what the problem was, and stripped it all down and decided now's as good a time as ever to teach myself how to build an engine. So that's where we're at now. I've got another block, another short motor, because I still had a couple of heads that were good. So I had a short motor there, stripped it all down. When I bought it, the owner let me know that he'd undone the rod bolts, and I sort of knew. I was like, basically everything, all the bolts in LSs are all one-time use bolts. You can reuse them, I guess, but I like to be a little bit particular with some things, so I just didn't want to risk it. I was like, well, they've been taken off, I'll pull it out and have a look at the bearings, and we'll go from there. Bearings perfect, didn't even need to take it apart. But I thought I probably should take the mains out, and have a look at those bearings, just to make sure before I start jamming a lot of horsepower through this thing. Undone all those. I was like, I'll just buy some stock main studs and throw back in there, some new ones. And they were perfect as well. Didn't even have to look at them. And then went and got a price on some new main studs. More expensive than the good aftermarket ones. So I was like, oh, well, one thing led to another. I'll buy some ARP main studs, put those in there. And then at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to strip this thing down. I'm going to do a proper build, learn how to do it all myself properly. So that's what I'm going to do. So anyone that's interested in that, I can won't be so much of a how to rebuild your motor. Like, there's plenty of books and YouTube clips and courses and stuff which I've been learning off out there to help people. But it'll sort of give you, if anything, give you an idea of what sort of goes into building a motor. I plan on mucking around with cars for a while, so I thought it's about time I learn, save myself some money in the long run. So that'll probably be some of the content for this channel. Will be me putting a motor together. Sort of missed a good part of my fabrication and stuff of my turbo kit, but I can run through majority of that and I'll show you guys a bit of that as well. I plan on buying a Haltech and dash and putting all that in there as well, so it's going to be a bit of me wiring as well. I just sort of cover everything and everyone can sort of get a grasp of what goes into building one of these cars. And because originally when I was first starting out mucking around with cars, there was a lot of things that I did not want to touch, and I thought, that's way beyond my capabilities, or I have no idea, I've never done that before. But just me being patient, waiting for motors and gearboxes and stuff, I just thought I'd do a little bit here and a little bit there, and then before I knew it, I had an entire ute shell that was only a few years old, completely dismantled in my garage. And so but it's been probably the best thing for me because I've learned how to build this car from the ground up. Everything, the whole interior, wiring, absolutely everything. So you'll probably get to see a bit of the work I've done, what I'm doing, and it might even prompt you to have a go, dig in, and just start attempting some stuff yourself. Always shoot me a question or whatever if you're doing the same thing and you want a hand. I'm happy to help out where I can, meet some new people through that way and whatnot. I'll try the best I can to help where I can. But here's a bit of an overview of what I've sort of come up with my lineup. With my motor, anyways. It's all back to front. Bear with me, fellas. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, everything's back to front. Bear with me. So we've got here is a Pro Boost GDX 42. I got that. I sort of didn't really want to go spend thousands of dollars on a genuine Garrett. Obviously, they're good turbos, but my thought process was behind these Pro Boost ones. A lot of guys running them, great times on the drag strip and whatnot. They got the numbers to back them up, so yeah, I thought give them a go. Obviously, it made 700 horsepower pretty easily on a basically stock 6 litre. So that's it. And this time around decided to polish everything. I'd done that with my 7 litre. I'd done the whole black on black on black, and so was everyone else basically. Wanted to do something different. So this time I was like, I'm gonna go in your face. So as you can see, everything is bright green, polished, and yeah, it'll be. I'll just turn this camera around.